Okay, aloha folks, this is Hal Wilkerson with Hawaii Property Advisors, and today's video is going to be a tour of Waikiki. So we are starting out here in the Ala Beach Park, and there you can see the west end of Waikiki right there with the Prince Hotel and the Ala Wai Hotel and others. And the Ala Beach Park is a very popular spot for Hawaii, for specifically Waikiki residents, because it's got a massive green space over here. And you know what, maybe I'll do a video on that one another time. But here's one of the entrances. This is actually the east end entrance right here that we're coming out of. And right across the street over here, you can see there's the Ala Beach Park. I got my tongue twisted. The Ala Moana Mall right there, which is the largest mall in the Pacific Rim, allegedly. Except for, and of course, when you get over into Japan, they have some bigger ones. But I think it's like the largest outdoor mall or something of that nature. So here we are, we're coming right into Waikiki. And I was driving a little fast, but we're going over the bridge of the Ala Wai. So this is the Ala Wai right here, which is a canal that sort of separates the rest of the island from Waikiki. Waikiki sort of its own little cloister in and of itself, I guess you could use the word. But straight ahead here, you can see on the left, that's Discovery Bay, right there, that's the Discovery Bay. Directly in front of us is timeshares from the Hilton. So for those of you business travelers that have Hilton points and you come out here, a lot of folks like to use their points on this property. This is a very popular property for Hilton owners or Hilton business users. Right here is actually, that's called the Ilikai, and you may remember a show called Hawaii 5-0. And Mr. Jack from Hawaii 5-0, right at the beginning of the original one, way back when. I think it was Jack, or was it Danny? I forget. One of the original characters was standing on the roof of that hotel right there, and the camera zoomed out. They sort of had a helicopter, that just kind of pulled out from his thing. And I can remember that as a boy when I used to watch that show with my grandfather. I can remember that specific scene. Well, that's on the Ilikai, which is right back there. And today it's actually a condo-tel. So if you're looking to invest in Waikiki, that particular hotel does have units that you can buy for anywhere between $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and you can use them as your own personal vacation rental, and you can rent it out via the hotel management for a fee when you're not using it. So right here on the right is Fort DeRusi. Now we just passed the entrance to the Hilton. We're going to kind of come up here and go through Kuhio. Now there's three really main roads in Waikiki. There's Kuhio, which is the only two-way road, and then there's Kalakaua, which is the eastbound road that's on the actual south shore, and then there's Ala Wai, which is a westbound road. And those are sort of the three main arteries of Waikiki. So we're going to start here on Kuhio, and then we'll end up on Kalakaua. So Kalakaua is a one-way going east. Ala Wai is a one-way going west. And then over there you can see Kuhio, and that's a two-way that sort of goes down the center. But it sort of splits off from Kalakaua right here. So this is sort of the classic, well, maybe classic is not the right word for it, but this is the well-known, the quintessential Waikiki that we're going to be coming up on right here. On the right is the Fort DeRusi Park. You've got the Trump Tower, which is a nice new property, which does have vacation rentals in there. That's the Trump Tower right there, and you can buy into there as well. And then but this is sort of the entrance. We're sort of just coming through. So on the left hand side, you're going to see a lot of the higher end, Botoga Veneta. You're going to see the Louis Vuittons, Unfortunately, COVID has not been kind to Waikiki. As a resident, it's been nice because there's not so many people. Normally, during normal times, this would be just completely covered with tourists. There you can see Louis Vuitton over there on the left. On the right is, that's the, what do you call it? The Royal Hawaiian, and that's, here you can see Hermes right there on the corner. The Royal Hawaiian is going to be down there. That's a classic property. It's the pink, the old pink lady of Waikiki, one of the original large resort hotels. It's now a giant shopping center, so all that property that they had at the Royal Hawaiian is now this very large retail property that there's an Apple store. You know, it's a pretty large chunk. It's one of the larger retail portions of Waikiki. Up here on the left, we're going to pass the International Marketplace, and right there, those two towers directly in front of us, that's the Hyatt. Over on the right, you've got the Cheesecake Factory, which is part of the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center. Been a lot of changes in the last year or so in Waikiki. The International Marketplace, for those of you that may have remembered the Waikiki of yore, used to be sort of the last bastion of local deals, and you would have a lot of stands, and here you can see it on the left now. That's the new International Marketplace, but it used to look quite different. Now there's a Tesla store right there on the corner. One of my favorite spots, by the way. But back in the day, it was the last spot where you could find, you know, sort of those quintessential, you know, Hawaiian tchotchkes, if you will. And a few years back, it's actually owned by the Queen Emma Land Company, and they decided they were going to do what any good capital-based organization is going to do and make some money off of it. So they redesigned it. They tore out all of the old little kiosks, and there was like a little bar down in the basement down there or the bottom, and they got rid of that and turned it into a high-end retail store. Now this is Kuhio Beach here on the right, another popular spot. This is really you've got Kuhio Beach right here, and then a little farther down is technically Waikiki Beach, even though this whole region is called Waikiki. This is the famous banyan tree that's very well known. Here you've got a number of, you know, little public facilities that they've got benches, and they've got some showers, and they've got the what do you call it, water fountains and things like that. But that's Kuhio Beach, and then Waikiki Beach. Of course, you can also see the water fountain flowing out of the waterfall flowing from nowhere. But this is the pier over here, and then you've also got a kind of a swimming pool. I forget what they call that. It's not the Queen's Baths, but it's an old basically it's a big walled off area which just protects it from the waves, which makes for a nice little spot to wade for the kiddos, or you know, you don't have to worry about as much watch action or wave action. Okay, here we're turning left on Kapahulu. That's the Honolulu Zoo right there. So this is sort of the east end of Waikiki. So farther around there is a road called Montserrat, and then there you've got the Waikiki Shell, and Diamond Head is farther over there to the east. But we're sort of coming up on, this is Kapahulu, so we're on the eastern edge, basically the, as we would call it, the Diamond Head end of Waikiki. So this is sort of the outer threshold of Waikiki. So I'm going to come up here, and we're going to pass this light here coming up is Kuhio, and we're going to pass Kuhio, and we're going to go up to the Ala Wai, and then we'll turn left on Ala Wai, and we'll come back down there. I like Waikiki. I used to live here when I first moved to Hawaii as a young military officer. I lived in Waikiki, and it was a great spot. I was stationed here at the Air Force Base as a Navy guy, and so I lived in Waikiki, and it was really nice. So everything's walkable. I mean, you can literally just walk everywhere you need to. In fact, I used to run my dog, my old Irish setter Murphy. I used to run him. There's a dog park, actually, when we turn left on the Ala Wai, if we were to keep going straight up Kapahulu, it would go wrap around the backside of Waikiki, or the backside of Diamond Head, and there's actually a dog park up there. And I used to run him from where I lived in Eaton Square, which was I think it was like a 2.5 mile run one way, so I would do 5 miles when I would run him, and probably in the best cardiovascular shape of my life. So the Ala Wai, a lot of people, know about the Ala Wai, that it's the kind of the canal that marks the northern side of Waikiki, but it is actually a man-made canal. And Waikiki, actually, it's Hawaiian words for where the fresh water flows. Vai meaning water, Kiki meaning fresh. And we're gonna turn down here. This is the Ala Wai. But it was marshland. That's the problem. Waikiki was really not, in the original days when it was developed, it was not anything like it is obviously today. And so this canal was built. So here we are at the end of the Ala Wai Canal right here. And this is the Ala Wai Drive is what we're at. And so this is the north side, or the Mauka, as they say in Hawaii. If you've watched any of my earlier videos, you've heard me refer to Mauka and Makai. Mauka meaning the mountain side, Makai being the ocean side. So we are on the Mauka side, or the north side of Waikiki. But it's about 1.5 miles or so of this canal from start to finish. And it's pretty cool too, because you'll a lot of times you'll see in the afternoons they'll have the outriggers. You'll see the outriggers doing their racing or their practices, and they also have races out here. Oh yeah, brings me to another point. Speaking of recreation, right across the way here is the Ala Wai golf course, and that is a public municipal golf course. I think locals can play it. I think we can play it for like $25 or something like that, maybe even less. It's a great golf course. I've actually, it's a great location. I mean, so if you're here and you're staying in Waikiki, or you live in Waikiki, it's really easy to get to, and it's very close, and it's very cheap. So it's a pretty popular little spot. But because of its price, it does, the greens fees fill up fairly quickly. So you want to make a reservation pretty soon if you are interested in golfing. But at any rate, so we're kind of on the backside of Waikiki. This is considered sort of the backside of Waikiki. These are where your lower price condos are going to be found. And still, I mean, you can see this building here. I don't know what this building is. I don't know which building that is off the top of my head, but I mean, it's not a Class A property, but you're still going to have beautiful views of the mountains even from up there on this side. And you can see all those condos have lanais. And there's Mr. Police Officer. But I used to run my dog right down this sidewalk here. It was nice. Nice and wide open. Benches along the way as well. I wouldn't recommend swimming in the Ala Wai. It's actually got a sordid history for, unfortunately, the water quality not being the best. City and County of Honolulu's unfortunately had a couple of run-ins with the EPA. In fact, you can see they're doing some work on it over there. And there's actually the outrigger, one of the outrigger, spots where they keep them. Maybe you can see those over there. But let's see, what else can we talk about here? Some number of cafes. This particular hotel, or actually it's another condo-tel, the tall one and right in front of us, down at the base of it, they have they've had several different little coffee shop kind of situations in there, but now there's a tea room at the bottom of that place. And in fact, my daughter went over there with her recently on Sunday, actually, and had tea with her mom. And she enjoyed that, but I forget the name of it. So now we're kind of on the, getting back to the, kind of the Eva end. This is called the Eva end because the west, sort of the west end. I'm going to go ahead and turn left here. This is Macaulay. Now there's only 2 bridges over the Ala Wai that you can actually access Waikiki from if you don't come in on Kapahulu where we just turned in on the east. So it's Macaulay, which is one of this bridge here. And then you've got farther down there, if we were to go a little farther, we would be able to get onto the Nimitz or Ala Moana Boulevard Bridge. So there's Ala Moana Boulevard Bridge, and then there's the Macaulay Bridge. Those are the only 2 bridges over the Ala Wai. We're gonna turn left here. This is the landmark building right here, which is actually a pretty cool, the Waikiki landmark. It is a very distinguishable looking building. It sort of has a spot that's open in the middle of it. Can't really see it from the road here, but it's pretty. It's an interesting building. I used to live in Eaton Square, which I could see that landmark building right outside of my window there. So now we're back here on. This is Kalakaua, excuse me. So we turned up there earlier on Kalakaua. Now we just came back down the Ala Wai, and then we're just turning back on Kalakaua, named after King David Kalakaua. And so Kalakaua turns into Kuhio. And so this time we're going to go down Kuhio, which is, as I mentioned, the only 2-way road that kind of splits the middle of Waikiki, except for this portion. There's a small portion here of what's that guy doing there? He's obviously lost. It's a little bit of a, sometimes if you don't know the roads, it can get a little bit confusing driving around here. Up here on the left is a they closed. Oh man, another victim of COVID. They used to have a rib place in there. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but it was a pretty popular mainland rib joint. Sadly is no more. Okay, so Kuhio is, as I mentioned, it's a 2-way road. So this is the only 2-way artery in the middle of Waikiki. Mostly condos along this way. So if you're buying a condo, more than likely it will be on or immediately off within a block or 2 of Kuhio. So this is sort of the main area. You can see this is the Four Seasons up here, the Four Seasons residences, and they do like a lot of these folks do. They'll do combination, hotel and ownership situations. So you can buy your own condo, use it basically whenever you like, and then you can put it into the pool for income. Lately, their cap rate is about between 2 to 3%, which is not all that great. Cap rate is your that's going to be your annual income divided by the price of the home or of the residence. But it's they're running about 2 to 3%. Some properties, depending, you can get more, but you've got to have a down here in Waikiki, the short-term vacation rentals, after they back out all the expenses on those condotels, they're just not making as much money as you might if you were to have your own sort of Airbnb kind of situation. There's the Royal Kuhio on the left. It's a nice legacy hotel. It's got some pretty good height to it, and there's some pretty good unobstructed views still in that specific one. This is the old what is this? I forget the name of There was a business park here, and then there also used to be a place. What is that island off the coast of Africa? Madagascar? No, I forget the name of it, but there was another club in there that was pretty popular back in the day. Again, this is the backside of the international marketplace, though. So, again, has developed quite a bit. There's the Saks Fifth Avenue there. And as you can see, they're still doing some good construction here. I'm not sure what that's going to be there. I'll have to check. ABC store on the corner here. ABC store, for those of you that have spent any time in Hawaii, know that that is essentially the 7-Eleven of Hawaii. Very popular little store. You know, they definitely are catering to the tourist, but just for your awareness, very rarely will you find any Hawaiian residents actually shopping at an ABC store. But they do a little points program, so save your receipts if you buy anything at the ABC store, because you'll get free calendars and tchotchkes and things like that. This area over here there used to be a little Burger King back there, and they tore it down. And there was also another little, I forget the name of it. It was like a little king castle kind of thing, Waikiki Castle or something. But they tore it down, and they're going to be redoing it with some more development. But there's a lot of boutique little condos and hotels. Oh, there's Hi's Steakhouse on the left. One of the best steakhouses. If you're looking for a good steakhouse in Waikiki, I do recommend Hi's, by the way. Pretty interesting. Their ceiling actually is all Tiffany glass. You can believe that. I don't know why it's special, but it's glass and it's crystal. It's Tiffany's. On the left here is the Hilton Waikiki. That's not the Hilton Hawaiian Village. So this is the little lower grade Hilton, but it's still a nice Hilton. But anyway, you get a lot of condo hotels back through this area, and a lot of places that have, the opportunity to own and also get some rental income. So that's really, the Waikiki Banyan actually is one of them. That's a great little spot. Here's the backside of the Hyatt, and I showed you the front side up there. But a lot of opportunity for vacation rental ownership in Hawaii, in Waikiki. Excuse me. Waikiki specifically as a zone has certain blocks that are, and certain properties that have specific allowances for vacation rentals. And so it's sort of a special vacation rental zone. And so it's not a bad spot to buy if you're looking to get into a vacation rental in Hawaii. Okay, well, that wraps up our tour of Waikiki. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, my name is Hal Wilkerson with Hawaii Property Advisors, and we've taken a tour of Waikiki. I'll wrap the video up here, but just for kicks and giggles, we'll just cruise right on up Kapahulu here and go take a look at the old dog park in the back of Diamond Head, just because it reminds me of the good old days. Back when I used to come across over here. Actually, you know what? I just realized. I take that back. I missed my turn. It's been too long. I missed my turn, so we'll leave it there. But hey, thanks again. If you are looking to buy a property in Hawaii, if you're looking for some advice on a transaction in Hawaii, I'm your man, Hal Wilkerson. You can find me at hpahomes.com. We've got over 5,000 homes listed there, condos, beachfront property, suburbia, you name it, you can find it on hpahomes.com. I'd love to have your business. I'd love to help you out. So again, take a look, and don't forget to hit the like button if you've enjoyed this, and subscribe as well. And we'll see you next time. Aloha.